Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a good day. I know it's been a while since I've posted a video, so time to get back into it. And I'm checking out some entertainment sites like Inverse and Bounding and whatnot. And I came across this interesting one from Inverse.com. Clone Wars Season 7 may finally confirm the best Star Wars theory of all time. We caught up with the fan behind the greatest Star Wars theory in Reddit history. I do not have a Reddit. I honestly haven't gotten around to it. I mean, I used to have one from way, way back. But I kind of got off Reddit because I lost interest in it. And people keep telling me to get back into Reddit, but I will if I find the gumption to. Anyway, 2 years ago, Star Wars changed for thousands of fans forever. I'm not talking about The Last Jedi, I'm talking about the October 2017 post on Reddit's fan theories community entitled The Clone Wars 2008 to 2013 is a Republic propaganda and Clone Wars 2003 to 2005 tells what really happened in the Clone Wars. Interesting. The name kind of says it all. If you're the type of person who spends their time on subreddits like fan theories and Star Wars speculation, you could probably fill in the blanks on your own. But thankfully for everyone else, Reddit user Onyx7805 went into pretty extensive detail in their original post. I won't recap the entire theory, but one key bullet point is that the Clone Wars intro, which sounds like an old-timey newscaster delivering news and opinions from the war, compare it to Gennady Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, which ambiguous sounds of battle without any music, enhancing the feeling that we're watching the records of war instead of dramatization. Yeah, he's not giving opinions. I mean, I can understand where they're going with this. I mean, this is interesting, so let's keep on getting into it. There's also the way each show depicts certain characters. In Clone Wars, the cartoon, Anakin is kind of a jerk, like in the movies. In the Clone Wars, the CG, he's cast as a hero. In Clone Wars cartoon, the clones are emotionless fighting machines. In the Clone Wars, they have distinct personalities and names. In Clone Wars, General Grievous is an unstoppable Jedi killing machine. In the Clone Wars, he's kind of a joke. He even gets captured by Gungans. Yeah. Okay, I will give them that. He did get captured by Gungans, and that was pretty sad. Notice a pattern? The Clone Wars, the CGI version returning to Disney Plus for the 7th season, breaks from the movies in several key ways to make the Republic look heroic and the Separatists look evil. Clone Wars, the Cartoon Network miniseries from the guy who made Samurai Jack, offers a pretty neutral take on the events of the war. I can kind of see that. Back in 2017, this theory took off like a bolt of force lightning. It had 1.6 thousand upvotes on Reddit and 76 comments, which most of which wholeheartedly agree or critique the idea in interesting ways. It's the type of fan theory that only gets more interesting the longer you think about it. With that in mind, I decided to check in with the original poster, Redditor Onyx7805, to find out how their own thinking on the theory might have changed instead of the final season of Galactic Senate's propaganda machine. Oh my gosh. Are they actually showing hate for the Clone Wars show? Because I actually liked it. Their answers revealed the surprising way one Star Wars fan's thinking on the franchise has evolved in just a few short years. And some insightful analysis of that galaxy far, far away in general. And they are going to go. Let me see how long this interview was. Okay, so it's not too long. Alrighty, so I'm going to go over this interview. The following interview has been lightly edited for clarity. You see, I don't like that. That's one thing I don't like, because if you edit an interview, you're not telling us what you're taking out, which means you could easily be editing this to suit your own purpose. Anyway, let's get on with it. So how did you come up with this theory in the first place? It was something I had as headcanon for many years as I was watching The Clone Wars, CG. The propagandist opening itself about the separatist bad, the Republic good, just pulled me out of the story every time I watched an episode. And weird childish humor and over-the-top mustache-twirling villains throughout the series enforced that notion. Sorry, folks. I had a really bad itch. Did you expect it to get such a big reaction? Not at all. I'm still shocked by how many upvotes it got. Do you think this theory could be correct, or is it just a fun idea? I don't think it's correct, just a fun idea. I think the later seasons contradict my theory as the show delved into darker aspects of the Republic and the war, such as the clone brain chips, the politicians wanting to continue the war through fabrications and hoaxes, etc. However, I do think the intention behind the Clone Wars series, at least initially, was the show that was meant to evoke the overly heroic and jingoistic old school serial TV shows and World War II newsreels, like how The Mandalorian borrows elements from 50s cowboy shows. Personally, I'm no longer obsessed with what is canon or not. I see Star Wars media as legends, myths, and stories told through generations and generations with different perspectives in the meta-narrative context, similar to how J.R.R. Tolkien intended with his stories to be viewed. George Lucas intended the entire story of Star Wars is actually being recounted to the keeper of the Journal of the Wills 100 years after the events of Return of the Jedi by none other than R2-D2. It is why every movie has a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars is just Star Wars. Not every little detail has to be lined up. What do you love about Clone Wars 2003, the cartoon? Do you think it's better than the CGI show? If yes, why? I actually have not seen the entirety of the Clone Wars, CGI. I have only watched the movie, Season 1 and 2. The Clone Wars movie is probably the second worst Star Wars movie, and I am not impressed by Season 1 and 2. I have heard that the series gets significantly improved with every season, or to the point where pretty much every fan loves it. I will catch up on the stories later. For Gendy's Clone Wars 2003, I love it for the same reason I love Samurai Jack and Mad Max Fury Road. It's simple, short, fast-paced, action-packed, and pure visual storytelling. Clone Wars is a series of serialized situations that rarely really connect to each other rather than an epic fantasy. In the Star Wars installment closest to It is the Star Wars installment closest to Flash Gordon, even more than The Mandalorian. Okay, that's the end of the thing, or the interview. I gotta say, this is an interesting take. Now, because he is right in some ways, the Clone Wars show, The Clone Wars CGI, does sort of feel like it is a propagandist show, but it does also, when you think of it that way. Now, how I've always thought of it was, it is a show that is kind of show, because it doesn't always show Anakin as being the hero. I mean, later seasons, he's right, it does indeed prove him wrong, but even Clone Wars show proves him wrong. You see, at the end of the second season, Anakin is being portrayed as the epic hero, And he's also shown to be, he is shown to be an asshole, but he's also shown to be the epic hero. That's what I meant to say, sorry. Because after he becomes knighted in Clone Wars, he is showing that, or they show a huge montage of him being very heroic, rescuing Jedi Masters that have been Jedi longer than him. They show all sorts of different things. And so, in a way, Clone Wars, not the Clone Wars, actually works against this Reddit theory. But it is still a decent theory. It somewhat holds up, but it does fall short because if you truly pay attention to both shows, as I have seen all episodes of both Clone Wars and The Clone Wars, and I've seen the movie, The Clone Wars movie, you can definitely see the spots in this theory because they also go from separatist perspective in The Clone Wars, which is the CG one. Anyway, folks, this is an interesting article. I will put it down in the pinned comment down below because the algorithm will screw with my channel if I put it in the description. Anyway, folks, that is the video. What do y'all think? Y'all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you think that this theory holds up, or do you think that it does fall short once you get into certain aspects and delve deeper into the shows, both of them? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Catch y'all on the next one.